movies too.
Yes, yeah. And this one is The Cameraman, a movie that begins as Nightcrawler and ends as Why Don't You Play in Hell?
That's a take. I can't argue with it.
No, you cannot, because it's correct.
Yeah. This I think is one of my favorite Buster Keaton movies. I really like The Cameraman a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least credited co-director on this is Edward Sedgwick. The co-directors in all of Buster Keaton movies are kind of like didn't actually do that much on them. I got the sense or like Buster Keaton didn't like having his credit shared with other people, and he was like he didn't do anything. Like a lot of times they would hire a co-director to like rein him in, and then he would like get them to quit by just like annoying them and things like that.
Wow.
But
I think he's worked with Edward Sedgwick a good amount before.
I think
right?
so. I don't think this was like a super contentious relationship. But this is the last movie with Steamboat Bill Jr. was Buster Keaton's last film under the independently run Buster Keaton Productions, where it was like his name on the building. He didn't really run the company, but it was like he had full creative control. Like this company existed for him to make Buster Keaton movies.
Mm-hmm.
The company was actually run by the producer on all of these. What's his name? Joseph Skank.
Okay.
And so that Steamboat Bill Jr. was the last movie under that company. That company folded in 1928, and Buster Keaton moved to MGM, which theoretically would have given him way more resources and access to all this stuff. This is the only one where he was given creative control. Basically all of Buster Keaton's movies after The Cameraman, he is sort of like more of a star or director for hire. I haven't seen any of those, but from everything that I've heard or read about them, they pale in comparison to his sort of like his run from like 1920 to 1928 is like his movies, right? Where it's like he can do whatever he wants. He's doing all this crazy stuff and they're great.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Cameraman is the last one where it's like they let him do whatever. Because I mean, a lot of his movies were super expensive and didn't always make money. Like The General didn't make a lot of money. Steamboat Bill Jr. I think also didn't make a lot of money. Like these were they weren't flops, I don't think, but they weren't, making their money back and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So I think The Cameraman was another one of those where it didn't make as much money as they hoped. And so MGM was like, all right, like you got to do what we say now. And all those movies, from what I hear, are way worse.
The studio execs, their meddling ruins everything.
And so, but it's kind of like sad or disheartening to me because like I think this movie, The Cameraman, is one of his best.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what what other things could he have come up with? Like how much longer would his like golden years of career have led to if MGM hadn't been such a taskmaster? I don't know. And I don't know how much blame I can lay on MGM, but it is sort of like this is like the last like proper Buster Keaton movie.
And this movie, you can definitely tell that MGM was involved because it has their name all over it.
Oh yeah.
This movie is about, once again, Buster Keaton trying to impress a girl. He is a tintype photographer, hawking his services on the street.
But before we see that, there's like this cool montage of like, the cameraman. What a romantic job, and it's all this like mostly real footage of like just people filming stuff, and it's cool, just old footage of people with like hand cranked cameras in different places.
Yeah, specifically the newsreel cameraman. They're trying to highlight as someone who goes into war zones to get footage and everything like that. This movie and Life and Death of a Hollywood Extra, they have like certain very small details about film production at this time that I thought were interesting to see. In the short, they show at this point like enormous studio lots that had been built, and this one it's like a bit more of the business of newsreel production, which is interesting, and it feels like Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Well, it also goes to show that like, oh yeah, like the newsreel camera guy the job hasn't really changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still mostly a freelance gig that people just show up with a camera and like, what do you need filmed? What
They're like,
what what weird accidents can I go to?
what horrors are happening in front of me?
Yeah. But so Buster's character in this is, yeah, like you said, a tintype cameraman. He's trying to just make make a living on the street taking tintype photographs of people, and he's sort of getting butted out of the way by all the newsreel men. He gets sort of like packed into a crowd with all these people who are trying to film a parade. And he gets pressed up against this cute lady that's there, and he's like, "This isn't a terrible thing."
He's like, I'm in love now.
So he wants to be a newsreel guy, and so he goes to MGM to see, like, how can I get a job as a newsreel guy, and she works at MGM, like the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like kind of giving him pointers, like, "Hey, you need to go buy a camera, and then maybe they'll hire you." There's a lot of great door bits throughout this whole movie. Whenever he's in the office, like the window in the front door keeps breaking for various reasons,
usually
or not breaking
due to him, but
usually due to him. But then it's like then he saves it, but something else breaks it. It's get a lot of mileage out of that door.
It's a good recurring gag. It goes through the entire movie.
And so, yeah, when he shows up to get a job at MGM, they kind of are like, "You don't have a movie camera? Get out of here." I believe one of the lines they say is, "What are you doing? Giving me a sleigh ride?" Which I don't know what that means. That's just weird 1920s slang that I have no frame of reference for. But I'm going to start saying it.
Yeah, you should.
What are you doing? Giving me a sleigh ride?
As soon as he trades in his tintype camera for a motion picture camera, he walks into MGM, and all the other cameramen are headed out to go to a fire at a warehouse. And he isn't really able to get out of the building in time. They all have rushed to the scene, and he's late to the fire, like in Nightcrawler. And I'll stop.
Is Nightcrawler just a remake of The Cameraman?
Maybe, yeah. It's a dark, twisted remake of The Cameraman. And there is a bit so he asks a cop where the fire is, and the cop is like misunderstanding him, thinking that he's trying to tell him that there's a fire, and then they do this whole big routine, which really probably would work better in voice.
Right. It does kind of feel like a kind of...
It's a who's on first.
Yeah,
of like
Costello bit. Yeah.
There's a warehouse. A warehouse? Where's the house? Which house? Which house? The warehouse. Kind of situation.
Maybe that was an MGM joke.
Maybe, yeah. Everything we don't like is MGM. And he eventually makes it over and starts recording stuff.
When he's still in the office at MGM, before he trades in his tintype for a movie camera, there's this sort of rival cameraman that's also...
He's a jock.
Making eyes at the girl that he likes. There's a lot of good making eyes in this movie. A lot of good sort of like romantic catching eyes, you know. While the rival cameraman is talking up the lady, she doesn't have a name in this movie, right? Like most silent like leading ladies, she's credited as like the girl, I think.
I don't remember.
But he kind of leaves his camera to the side, and Buster goes up and starts opening it up and like looking at it and figuring out how it works, which I thought was just a cool callback to how Buster Keaton actually learned how cameras worked, which is he went to a film set one day, didn't know anything about it. Someone gave him a camera to bring home and he like took it all apart and put it back together and like learned everything about it. And so I don't know if this was like it feels like a deliberate reference to that, of like how Buster Keaton actually learned how cameras worked.
Her name is Sally.
Okay. So sorry, I derailed the conversation. Right, so he runs afoul of the police officer who's trying to get to help him go to the fire. Mm-hmm. Instead, he goes to an empty baseball field and pretends to play baseball for a bit.
Yeah, this scene felt very
It's
random.
not great. Yeah,
Like,
I think it's in there because Buster Keaton in real
loves
life
baseball.
loves baseball, just absolutely loved baseball. This scene doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that was working about this movie, and like that baseball thing is just like, why is this happening right now? And it made me
Yeah,
think that this movie was going to be kind of crappier than it is. Like, it's just going to be a
yeah, me
bunch of
too. I was
random
sort of
scenes.
right. Yeah, but so Buster Keaton doesn't go to the fire. He just films a bunch of random stuff. He brings it back to MGM. They watch it, and it's like Kino Eye Soviet montage stuff.
Exactly. Which I was like, oh,
And they immediately kick him out of the room.
they're like, what is this? What is this artistic crap?
Yeah,
Uh,
which is very funny to me. Like, I don't know
yeah,
how much of that gag is intentional, if it's meant to be like nonsense, or if it is Buster Keaton being like, "Oh no, my character is doing some real experimental stuff," and
I think
MGM
it's
doesn't
like,
like it.
I think it's that like, yeah, he is
It feels intentional to me.
accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be like intentionally done, but like I think that like the idea is that he has accidentally made an art film instead
Yes.
of and it's certainly not what they want. It's I feel like the Kino Eye reference has got to be deliberate because it specifically has someone diving and then
Yeah.
reverse diving, which is
Yeah.
which Kino Eye like calls attention to, like, look what
Right.
film can do. It can make
Which
someone
is
dive backwards.
yeah, which is why it feels so deliberate. It feels like Buster Keaton saw Kino Eye and was like, "I want to put that in something. I don't know where."
Yeah.
Another thing that this movie gets a lot of comedic mileage out of is just tripods, and like old tripods that didn't have spreaders. Spreaders being the thing on the bottom of a tripod that keep all the legs in proportion, so the legs don't flop all around.
Hmm.
Old tripods didn't have those, and in this movie, there's a lot of jokes about how the tripod doesn't work or is hard to use or too
Right.
big or whatever.
Yeah,
But
it
it's like,
smacks people in the head and breaks
yeah,
glass and yeah. After he gets kicked out, he kind of gets another chance in a way, and there's a point where he's getting a little more ingrained in the community, and
yeah.
Sally's helping him out a bit more.
Yeah,
He ends
Sally
up,
keeps helping him out and like giving him scoops and sort of like telling him kind of what to do to get noticed and that
yeah,
sort of thing.
because she likes his moxie,
Yes, exactly.
and eventually he says, "Go on a Sunday walk with me." So she already has a date set up, I believe, with the jock cameraman, right? Uh,
Hmm. The jock
and
cameraman.
it ends up getting canceled, and so she's like, "Hey, my date got canceled. I can go out with you." She says,
Yeah.
"What's your phone number?" And they exchange phone numbers, which is another piece of kind of like historical technology that sounds kind of interesting to me. Is that like people were like swapping phone numbers before dates 100 years ago?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but it was 100 years ago.
Now we just swap Instagram follows.
Follow for follow. Um, I was thinking, I wonder how many digits phone numbers were back then. It's like, give me your phone number. It's 307, you know?
I do love all of this phone stuff. I think is fantastic.
Hmm.
I mean, there's the bit where him answering the phone. So he lives on like the top floor of the apartment building, and the phone is on the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the phone rings, he has to run down all the stairs, and then he has to like run back all the way back up, and then run all the way back down. There's a lot of running up and down stairs in this section, and it's like a full set.
It's a huge, like, 5-story
Yeah,
tall half apartment building. It's insane.
it's a very sort of like cutaway building, very like Wes Anderson style thing, where the camera is moving between all the different floors. And as you see him running up and down the stairs, it's great, and it's like just as cool looking now as it probably was then. They finally get each other on the phone, and he's like, "Come meet me," and he immediately just runs to her house
It's so good.
while she's still talking on the phone, thinking she's talking to him.
Yeah, the
And
second that she says come meet me, he just dashes
yeah,
over.
which is a great joke by itself. But then we keep cutting back to her talking on the phone, and then like cut to like an empty phone, or cut to him like running through the streets. And the fact that we don't hear what she's saying, I think actually makes that joke funnier,
Mhm.
because it's like what she's saying is literally falling on deaf ears, right? Like she is just speaking into nothing.
Uh-huh.
Like we as the audience aren't hearing it because we're with Buster, right? He's like the point of view character. I'm probably getting too heady and intellectual about that, but I thought that made the
It's
joke
kind of neat.
funnier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
It's a silent movie, and her
yeah.
speech is going nowhere. But then, yeah, he runs and then arrives right as she's about to hang up, basically, and then she just appears behind her.
Yeah. And so then they go on a nice date to the pool house, I guess is
Yeah,
what you'd call it. Pool
yeah.
museum.
It's a big, it's a big public pool that's got like a diving board and like 300 people in it, and it's indoors, and it's
Like
got
a
a fountain
fountain.
in the middle that
Yeah.
you can sit on. Uh, and yeah,
Is that
I
still open? Can I go to LA and go to that giant pool?
I want to go to that giant pool. Although this feels like it's set in New York, but I don't really know.
Hmm. It probably closed in like 1935.
Yeah. Or maybe closed a year later because ostentatious things couldn't exist during the Great
True.
Depression.
A lot of maybe too many jokes about putting on a bathing suit.
Yeah, there's a very extended part where like a mobster, I guess, like gets in the same
The
changing room
changing
as
room.
him, and
And
then
they're
they
both
have to
trying to get changed in the same tiny room. But it's like, why would the mobster want to be in the same room? It's very contrived, but it's like they get some mileage out of it, at least. It goes on a little long.
then they're out in the pool, and he's accidentally put on the loose-fitting uh, bathing
Yeah.
suit of the mobster, uh, and the mobster's put on his tiny bathing suit.
Which is
Uh,
a good joke. Him walking out in the like giant smock of a bathing suit is very funny.
but I was like, that could have just as easily been the style at the time. Is
Right. It's like no.
big
1920s
smock
bathing suits look
suits.
ridiculous already. Like who's to say? Yeah.
A bunch of suitors who see this see Sally and are trying to get after her, and they keep pushing Buster out of the way. He is trying to kind of do all of this stuff to impress her, including jumping off of the diving board. And when he does, he loses his swimsuit, and then we get some I'm naked and can't let anybody in the pool know that I'm naked
Which is
jokes.
pretty much always funny, I think. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
that feels like it would be just as at home in like a Ben Stiller movie or something. Like that's just a classic just like, "Oh no, I'm in a pool with no bathing suit. What do I do?" If anything, I think that's just drawing attention to how much like contemporary comic actors are still just like it's like a Buster Keaton joke, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than the changing room stuff, I like a lot of this all the pool gags. I think there's a lot of fun stuff in here.
Hmm.
And then from there we kind of switch gears back to the like cameraman stuff, right?
Yeah, I
If
guess
I'm
it stops
remembering
stops being
correctly.
so much of a romantic comedy and starts being back to the premise of the film.
Right.
um,
Sally gives him like a hot tip that she gets that the like parade in Chinatown is uh gonna get used as an ambush for I think the rival Tong gangs. Is that who they were?
I didn't put the name down, but it was two warring gangs who wanted to have a shootout in the middle of a parade with a dragon in it.
Yeah. Buster shows up. He's the only cameraman who shows up to this to cover this parade. The gang war breaks out, and he's filming all of it. He's getting shot at. He's getting like people are like jumping through windows over him, and he's through it all. He's like his tripod gets the leg shot off. There's a great bit where he has to climb up onto like a scaffolding that like falls over as he's riding it down and filming.
Yeah. It's
Um,
wild. This is the equivalent part toward the end of the movie where shit just goes bananas.
right, yeah, this is the most bananas this movie gets. I think it's less sort of like backloaded as it is in Steamboat Bill Jr.
Uh-huh. There's a bit of decompression after this, but this
Yeah,
is like, yeah, a really wild, like all out battle scene with
yeah,
jokes put in the middle.
and
Uh
he's like holding the camera all weird ways to film different stuff, and it's like
The other thing about Nightcrawler that this evokes is there's a point where there are two people fighting on the ground, and one of them loses their knife, and so he puts the knife back in their
Right.
hands so he
Yeah.
can get like a better shot. Because this was before journalistic ethics existed, I guess.
Well, also he's new at the job. He doesn't know about those things yet.
I guess so. But like it's interesting the ways that he is kind of manipulating events to get the best shots, right?
Right. Yeah.
One small other detail is that he has a monkey sidekick now. So it's him and the monkey in this shootout. And the
Yeah.
monkey's kind of like helping him with his camera
Yeah.
equipment. Eventually, the whole thing dies down.
All the
The
other camera people show up and they're like, "How did you know about this?"
yeah, he's like, pack it in, boys. I got this
Yeah.
already.
But then he goes to like take the film out of the camera, and oh no, there's just a tiny little, end of a film roll.
It's
Um,
empty.
yeah.
It's a Sky Captain moment.
Oh no, the camera was empty the whole time. No.
And so they're like, you pulled all this nonsense. You made us all miss this amazing footage, and you don't even have anything to show for it because you're incompetent. Get out of here. Never come back.
Yeah. It's like the next day, and there's a boat race happening.
Yeah. By this point, the jock cameraman, like Sally got in a lot of trouble for giving him this
Yeah.
tip, and the jock cameraman is now she kind of has to stay separate from him, and the jock is with her now on the boat.
Yeah. So the jock invites her onto his fancy speedboat for this boat race, and Buster's there with his camera still, but he's on a rowboat trying to film it. The jock cameraman makes a mistake and goes around a corner too fast, and both the jock cameraman and Sally fall out of the boat, and then the boat is still driving, so it's like going in a circle around them, so they can't swim to shore. So then Buster leaps into action. Well, he puts the camera down on the beach first, and then the jock cameraman swims away cowardly while Buster saves Sally. But then Buster runs away to like get help, and the jock cameraman like revives Sally, and it's like, I saved you. And so then they're like, ugh, this is terrible. But then we reveal that the monkey has filmed the whole thing with the camera, which is the best reveal maybe of any movie I've ever seen. It's so good. It's my favorite thing in the world. And then Buster finds out about this, so then he's like, oh, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to show that I really saved Sally. And then when they show the boat rescue footage, all of the Chinatown footage is also in there because the monkey had switched the film rolls and the camera or whatever.
The monkey was a very good camera assistant and swapped the film reels.
And so then Buster is able to win back Sally from the jock cameraman, who's discredited and ashamed, and he got his good footage, and he still has a monkey sidekick, and he has like a good job now.
The end.
Like it's a very funny ending, but it's also like very sweet. I thought there's like a couple jokes that don't quite work or going a little too long, but otherwise this is like up there with, I think Sherlock Jr. might be slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sherlock Jr. is a little bit more kind of like,
it's more focused.
It's a little more. It's going a little wilder with its use of like film as a like joke medium, which this movie doesn't quite go as far with, but I really enjoyed this one a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yes, yeah, me too. I liked it a lot too. By the way, the jock was played by Harold Goodwin, who also played the jock villain in College.
Great comedy jock actor.
Yeah.